immediate thin can happen with some of these new weight loss drugs. And thin has gone from being a healthy thin to skeletal thin, and you get addicted to it.
Just Google Kelly Osbourne. It's gone too far.
Welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. I'm Farley Boyle, girl mom.
And I'm Jennifer Brenius, boy mom.
Together, we're Team Boyle-Renius. Each other's ride
or die. This is where grit gets real. We don't just talk, we do it.
We're here for the messy stories, the hard-fought lessons, and the courage it takes to keep showing up.
Especially when it's uncomfortable. We bring gratitude and attitude to everything we do.
We jump in head first, unafraid, and are all in all the time.
We bring it on and get it on, diving into unscripted conversations on just about everything.
We don't just talk grit, we live it.
We put the it in grit.
So let's get gritty.
Hi, and welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. We are at Bring It On Studios. I'm sitting next to Jen, fresh off the plane from Japan.
Whoa. I don't know how fresh I am. I'm quite tired. It's a 14-hour flight. I did do a good job sleeping. Even the flight attendants were like, wow, you're a professional sleeper. I had no drugs and I had a couple of glasses of wine that helped me, but I think I was just tired. Every day we walked, I don't even know how many hours, how many millions of steps we must have taken, but it was from 7 in the morning until 7 at night. We were on our feet seeing temples and shrines. What a beautiful country. For anyone who has the opportunity to take that direct flight from New York to Tokyo, it's a pretty good one.
Mackenzie's on a plane right now to Vietnam and then Thailand.
It's awesome. It's
So-
great. World travelers, the most interesting thing that we were blown away with as Americans is that there are no garbage cans. When I say zero garbage cans, no garbage cans. They're the European model where you sit down and drink your cup of coffee. You don't take it on the go. We took our cup of coffee on the go everywhere because we wanted to see everything, but then had nowhere to throw it out.
Smart.
Anywhere. Nobody wants your garbage, which is a good thing.
Don't make so much garbage
Correct.
because then you get to mule it around with it.
Throw it.
I heard it was
Clean.
immaculate and quiet. I know honking.
They're a culturally demure society and do not make a lot of eye contact. And it's not negative. It's just the way they are. They don't greet you with eyes when you're walking down the street. You stay in your own lane. You don't bother people. Very respectful of anybody who's doing anything intentionally. They do everything intentionally, especially in the places of worship. You're very quiet and still. And it was a meditative trip. And my son will be there for another few weeks. And I'm hoping that he's going to be able to see Mount Fuji. I did not get to go there, which I was bummed about. My trip was a little too short, but the country itself is beautiful and much bigger than you think. So you need more than a week. So having said that, we are back in New Jersey and hopefully spring has sprung.
Yes, it's definitely sprung. It's a little chilly today.
A little chilly.
It's all right. Slowly,
We'll get there.
but surely.
Well, going slowly and surely into our top 3. Number 3, are you really putting on lab-grown regenerative plate innovations with upside-down foods and good meat?
I don't think anybody understood that, but if you're following the lab-grown meat industry, those are the 2 biggest brands out there. And it's frightening. We looked it up to see how would you know that you are consuming lab created meat? Do you have to warn you in restaurants? Do they have to tell you? We did find that there was a restaurant in Washington, D.C. and San Fran that dabbled in it. Lab grown chicken. It's very expensive to produce, thankfully. And I don't know that San Fran is doing it any longer.
They are not.
I think DC might still be flirting with it. The frightening conversation is that the world population is going to be 9 billion by 2050.
In our lifetime.
So they're talking about alternative ways to keep us fed. And everything that I've read about lab grown meat is disturbing because it's chemicals and
cells that look and striate to appear as if authentic meat. Italy banned it. The U.S. federally has not banned it.
Florida was the first state in the U.S. to
But there are a bunch
say
of
no. North Carolina,
United
Oregon.
States. There's a bunch of states in the U.S. that do not allow it at this time, but that doesn't supersede the national approval.
Genetically cultured. All the language was chemicals, synthetic, genetically altered, and everything about it screams hell no.
We'll hope the FDA does a good job of keeping us protected, and especially as we inverted the food pyramid. Okay. Number 2, hot flashes, night sweats, shoulder pain, hip pain. Is that your estrogen or lack of talking to you?
I've heard so many women complain about their hips and shoulders, and I didn't understand why out of nowhere my shoulder hurts all the time. It's probably because I've served 9,000 volleyballs in my life and thrown a million softballs. So I thought, all right, this makes sense. This is just wear and tear, but it's not. It is lack of estrogen, folks. If your shoulders are hurting, men, I don't think that this has the same effect on you, but I have heard men complaining about their shoulders and hips, and it's small tears in your rotator cuff because the estrogen quality we're used to having when we're smooth sailing premenopausal keeps things lubricated. And all of a sudden, estrogen starts to go down and the lubrication isn't as great. And there you have shoulder issues.
Japan and other places in the world that walk a lot more. Part of our problem in the United States, and I'm not diminishing the estrogen situation, is that everybody just gets in a car and goes to their activity and then gets back in the car. We don't walk. We don't use our bodies all the time. And single-use sports, you're a lefty or a righty playing tennis, playing racket sports. Of course, you're going to have an imbalance. When did we come up with all these deficiencies in everything? Is it our food, GMOs, all of the products that we're putting onto our bodies? Why are we having so many health issues? Is it because the population has gone from 3 billion when we were born to almost 8 billion, moving to 9 billion? Or is it just aging?
I think it's a combination. I think we've been lied to. I think we've ingested all kinds of additives and preservatives and chemicals, and we're breathing them, and they're inside of us. And it's a terrible combination.
Yeah,
Perfect storm.
I tend to agree with that.
But I do think aging does have a lot to do with it. My shoulder, I can't sleep on it anymore. Nothing is really significantly wrong. It snaps and cracks a little bit, but it aches at night when I'm laying on it. And that's frustrating because it came out of nowhere. And I started drinking celery juice because it's anti-inflammatory, religiously drinking celery juice. I don't want to pop pills. And rest is really what makes it feel the best.
The 50-year-old woman is doing a lot more than what the 50-year-old woman of yesteryear did when we were kids. A 50-year-old was an old lady.
Yes.
50-year-olds are no longer old ladies. Thank the dear Lord. And we want to be active and involved well into our 70s and 80s. So
we need to all ingest
I think that's why.
Curcuminoids or curcumin. I can't say it.
Curcumin.
Because it
like
is
turmeric.
It's a natural form of estrogen. It's plant estrogen, and it works hand in hand with ours on some level. It can help increase estrogen like support. So
maybe we need to go back to some of the basics of food and herbs. And
we can't go down this rabbit hole. We can't do it.
All right. And number 1, triple root might be the answer because stem cells, now in a 3-pronged approach, helping our paraplegics and our quadriplegics get more movement and mobility.
It's a fabulous story about a man that was in a terrible car accident, and they were doing trials on stem cell, and he responded incredibly quickly. Within 2 months of being paraplegic, he regained the ability to move his hands and then his arms. And now he's in a wheelchair and can do a lot of things on his own, daily little things that we have to do, brush our teeth, wash our face. He can do things for himself, which is incredible. Stem cells, it's a debate. Some people believe, some don't. It could be the power of the mind. I had a child that went to the hospital for special surgeries, which is like the designer hospital in our area, when she had a foot injury. It's called the Lisfranc injury. And we were told that stem cells would really radically heal her quickly, even though she was no longer working out, doing anything. She was wearing a boot. And they said, absolutely not. There's no science behind it. We can't say anything positive about it. And we went elsewhere and ended up doing it. And she is thriving today without Lisfranc residue, and it's not slowing her down at all. So do your research. And if you're motivated to go in a direction, I mean, if I was a paraplegic, if I had paralysis of any type, I'd be open to just about anything. And I think that the truth lies somewhere within, because we had a positive result and we're reading about positive results. So do some exploration on your own if you feel like you could benefit from it.
Totally agree. Stem cells promote growth in every aspect and can only help and heal. And part of the reason why there's so much question has to do with the financial obligation of it. And I think
very expensive.
And I think that what they don't want to do is say it works, because then the insurance will be obligated to pay for it. I'm at the point in this country where I'm like, follow the dollar and where the dollar is. And if you're going to pay out of pocket, they're very happy to take your out of pocket money. And if the insurance companies have to pay for it, they're not so happy about it. So that's the unfortunate situation that we're in when it comes to these new innovative technologies.
Lab meat can stay expensive, like really expensive and unaffordable. Keep that in that direction.
We don't want to go in the food direction. We want immediate gratification.
Instant gratification nation here. And thin is in. And boy, is it thin. It's getting scary. Ozempic and Wegovy and all the different brands out there. We don't know enough long term on what's going to happen if people are using it daily as maintenance. I'm sure somebody in your community looks like Hollow Man. People are disintegrating and are walking skeletons. It's scary.
It's tough. It's a tough situation because there are people that have metabolic issues. There are people that have been struggling with their weight all the time. And in no means do we want to shame anybody doing what they're doing. But the real thing that we're getting to with immediate gratification is that there was a point where doing the work, which we've gotten so far away from on so many levels, the reward in the process most of us enjoy. And now immediate thin can happen with some of these new weight loss drugs. And thin has gone from being a healthy thin to skeletal thin, and you get addicted to it.
Just Google Kelly Osbourne. It's gone too far. And we have to stand up and say things to the people that we really care for that might be addicted to it. And I understand if I never felt thin or felt like I was always struggling with my weight, and I worked out like a fiend, and I ran and I watched what I ate and I tried every single type of diet, it's a miraculous drug for that person, but it's being taken to the next level. And it's now been in our communities for quite a while. And you can recognize somebody that's had a massive transformation, and you can be very happy for people with their transformations. But there's people that are taking it to the next level, and it's not normal. I saw a magazine catering towards the 40 plus demographic. I was at the airport and I picked it up and I thought, oh, I'm 50 plus. Maybe I'll learn something from the 40 plus. And it was all about GLPs, tirzepatides, and rapid weight loss. And they were educating me on how I should go get a facelift if I've lost too much weight. If I have arm and leg fat or crepey skin, I can go get it tightened. And if I don't like the way my breasts look anymore, I could go get my breasts augmented. And everything that I read was about plastic surgery, products. It was about treatments, filler, things to help me not have the gaunt look or the Ozempic face. Ozempic is going to become the most affordable of these because now they're taking it to the next level. It's called Zepbound, and it's not a diabetic drug. You know, it's specifically formulated for weight loss, but they want you to stay on it indefinitely, which means not only are the pharmaceutical companies making money, not only are the plastic surgeons making money, and all the people that are making all of these products that you can't live without because you have to start utilizing them and you have to have all these different procedures. Where is the finish line?
There isn't one. You're an annuity. And that's what they're creating, let's be honest. And if you look at the cycle of life and the cycle of money and where it's going, this is the reality of where we are in the world today, especially accentuated in the United States. We went from a place where we were farmers and we grew our own food and tilled our own soil and we did all that, and that went away. We went to industrialization of farming. Now we're at a point where we eat out all of the time. So people don't know how to cook. Food comes to them, or they buy prepared food filled with crap. So they took us out of farms, out of cooking our own food. They're now creating a society of weight issues when there weren't weight issues when we were growing up. If you watch any old movies and they show who the heavy kid is, that kid is not heavy by today's standards.
No.
Now your food's corrupt and they're giving you a pill to fix it. And when the pill fixes your weight, you look weird. Now you got to go back to the doctor to get fixed. The way you look, you're going to be put on another medication for your entire life. So you eat terrible. You don't have to work out anymore because you're teeny tiny thin and don't want to put on muscle.
Now they're saying though, it's especially
terrible.
with Zepbound, they recommend that you work out the entire time that you're taking it. You take it on an empty stomach in the morning. I think the oral medication that's coming down the pike that Lily is making, you're going to be able to take it with a meal so that you don't have to schedule your day around taking this pill. It's a commitment for life. Everything that I have been reading, you're on this indefinitely. And if you go off it, they think that you could keep 12 to 20% of your weight off for the first year if you're incredibly disciplined. But how many people fall back into the rut, especially when it's instant gratification? If it comes off quickly and you didn't have to do the blood, sweat, and tears to get it
Correct.
to come off, and then you go off the medication, I heard it makes you even more voraciously hungry. Your appetite increases. The fat goes in different areas. There's so little known about it. And I'm not knocking it. If I had a weight issue, I would try it out. If I knew more about all of the long-term effects that they don't know about, just even vision loss, intestinal blockage, stomach paralysis, heart conditions. They say that it can help with certain types of cancers. There's some benefits to it. There's medicinal benefits with caffeine and pot. Where do you draw a line in the sand? Where is the finish line? You're going to have to constantly take something that's doing something that you can't do for yourself. It's not a disease. It's not like somebody that has seizures taking seizure medications so that they don't have seizures and they're taking it indefinitely. Having to take a tirzepatide for the rest of my life without information on this for 20 plus years available in the marketplace, I'm scared.
I come back to the fact that there's a larger problem here, and I'm not talking about Wegovy or any of the GLPs. The amount of food that people eat, the portion sizes in the U.S. are crazy comparative to the world. I feel like we have a food quality epidemic. They are touting you're heavy because you don't work out. The fitness industry started in our generation. If you only worked out harder, you could be thin. So you had a whole generation of people that went to the gym rats like never before in human history. And yet between our ability to innovate food and provide health and wellness classes everywhere, we still have a pandemic of obesity, meaning people feeling as if they're overweight, needing to go on GLPs. We have to go backwards to figure out how we got here. And I think the issue largely is that we don't want to put in the work. We have the answer at our fingertips when it comes to smartphones. We can get a pill to fix whatever we want. I have friends who have a headache or they don't feel right, and the first thing they do is pop a Tylenol or an Advil. Maybe drink a glass of water first. Maybe give some love to that joint before you pop a pill. That's how I feel about these GLPs. And it, to me, is reminiscent of the pandemic we had with pain pills. They made it as if all of these pain medications were going to solve the problem. Pain pills, to me, are the GLPs of today.
Except pain pills didn't make you skinny.
No.
Unless you didn't eat because you didn't have an appetite.
No, but they took away your pain. No, but to me, it's the exact same issue. We're just not there yet with the GLPs. I'm of the opinion that if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
I think a lot of people have been doing this sneakily because anybody that has diabetes and the doctors that go hand in hand with the diabetic demographic recognize that weight loss was a byproduct of the medication that they were put on. And the weight loss was so significant without much ado about anything, they started testing it, even though somebody might not have diabetes, a very obese person ready to get a gastric bypass, they decided to try it out on them and it worked. That word travels within the medical industry and within Hollywood. And you could start seeing this type of transition happen within the Kardashians. It started to tip in Hollywood. And we were like, wow, you saw people that might have been bigger months ago. And suddenly you're being told, I just cut out carbs and started
walking.
walking. It's unbelievable, the transformation, especially when you're our age. It can't happen in 3 months. I don't care how much you bust your ass, unless you have your mouth taped shut.
Your jaw,
jaw wired.
Jaw wired.
It's very hard, especially with hormones and aging, to drop the significant amount of weight that we're seeing fall off of people. And when I say fall off of people, their clothes are falling off of them. They don't have like curves anymore. They don't even have a butt. It's like they're almost a size 2 little boy body now. It's heartbreaking to see, because they're in a thin body and they're obsessed with it. This magazine I saw called New Beauty, and the article Fab Over 40 Plus says New Beauty is 100% dedicated to beauty, focusing on scientifically accurate, expert-driven information. It covers cutting-edge skincare, in-office cosmetic procedures, anti-aging strategies, and product innovations, aiming to empower women to make informed, high-end beauty decisions.
There we go.
That's what this is all about. It's just vanity and more vanity. And you can get expert advice featuring insight from top dermatologists, plastic surgeons, industry professionals, and deep dive content providing in-depth analysis of skincare ingredients, makeup trends, hair care. It's all about being gluttonous and self-occupied and driven by this instead of what is inside of you. And we're getting so far away from being who we are, and we're so concerned about what we look like and what we appear to be to everybody else.
We are at a place where the influencers are king, and what you see on social media is your reality. And they always said the camera puts 15 pounds on you. So if you look at the fact that most people are taking and posting an enormous number of pictures and like the way they look when they look thinner in photographs, we are totally looking in the mirror way too much.
Oh my God, we got to remove the mirrors. I remember a show on weight loss when they started their workouts.
The biggest loser. You're talking about the biggest
Maybe
loser.
It was the biggest loser. They didn't allow mirrors. They just wanted them to focus on the exercise regime and think about themselves, breathe and, visualize instead of looking and self-loathing. And that's what is happening, is we're self-loathing nonstop.
And it's a comparison society too. You could be completely happy in yourself, but then you see someone else and you're not as happy as you thought you were, side by side in a mirror next to someone. And that's a problem too, because everybody is starting to look the same. And the beauty in human beings is the differences, different sizes and shapes. At one point, the Dove was doing a good job of like trying to show different types of beauties and ages, and women with lots of freckles and imperfect skin. The vitiligo model, things of that nature, like that are healthy and good for people's mental state. Being obsessed with what size you are has got to be a tremendous burden. Food is life, and not being able to enjoy what you like is really sad. And I do think about calories. I look at something and I'll say to myself, do I really want that? Like that 7,000 calorie dessert? And I'll say, hell yeah, if it's chocolate, I do. If it's some other flavor, I might say, no, I'm not going to enjoy it. It's not worth the calories. And those kind of processes are healthy. Are people taking away some of those pleasures in order to be thin?
In the instant gratification nation, they don't have to take away some of those pleasures. People that are also taking Vyvanse and Adderall, the cheat drug that is supposed to make us all smarter, focus better, that's all a myth. That's an urban legend. If you don't have ADD and ADHD, like it chemically not formulated for somebody that does not have ADHD or ADD. Vyvanse can be taken when you have an eating disorder. It can be taken when you are binge eating and bulimic. It shuts down the receptors in your brain to tell you to do that. But it also is shutting down receptors that are craving food. And that's something that Adderall does. So make sure that you have conversations with people that are taking Adderall and Vyvanse, and that they're taking them for the right reasons, because a lot of people do take that medication because it also acts like a GLP or a tirzepatide. It takes away hunger pains and it doesn't make you think about food. So those are two drugs that are also being abused to be thin. And people are vaping because it also
Sure.
takes away your appetite and it makes you, not think about food so much. Just like cocaine was the fashionable drug of choice back in the day. You're revved up. It's like speed. So you've got energy and you can stay going, but you're not thinking about food.
Yeah. Well, I like to think about food, obviously.
I do too.
So the immediate gratification society on this GLP thing is something to think about. And you have to make the decisions you need to make on your own.
Keep reading because there's more and more information coming out as they're changing formulations and the fallout of what's to come. Yes, all of a sudden you're skinny, you've got to buy a whole new wardrobe, but do you need to get procedures now too? It's expensive to pay for these drugs, but then to go get your boobs redone and your skin tightened and filler and injections and treatments that you might not have foreseen. And you're kind of psyched that you need them now, but are you psyched that you're going to continue to have to do more and more? Not to mention take medication for the rest of your life, potentially.
Yeah.
So that you don't ever get an appetite back.
And how confused must your body be? Let's be honest about that.
And your hair starts falling out. That's another thing. So then you have to start taking supplements. You lose fat everywhere. So your hair starts falling out because your hair follicles have fat and things get dry down below. So then you've got to go talk to somebody about lubrications, and it doesn't end, people. It's a snowball effect.
Yes, it is. And look at some of the studies that are not getting a lot of play, and do your own due diligence, do your own research, because there's not enough data yet. And we just hope that the other shoe doesn't drop like it did in other instances that we've seen where we don't know the truth until it's too late.
Very true.
So
yes,
try to enjoy what's on your plate. Try to enjoy the size you are. You can fix what you need to fix with a little bit of hard work and dedication to the cause.
Very true. And I am going to spotlight our Got Grit Award winner this week, who is trying to bring back offline and shared experiences because people are craving this, and it's going back to the basics, and it's about connections. So our Got Grit Award winner of the week is Liv Schreiber. And for those of you that haven't heard of her, you need to check out Camp Social. She is the person that tabled the idea of going away to camp, an all women's camp, all ages from all over the world, 1,000+ people each summer for 3 days, and you curate your experience. It's not fancy. You're sleeping in bunks, you're meeting people, and their tagline is 99% arrive solo, 100% leave as friends, which is wonderful. She also started Hot and Single and Hot and Social. Hot and Single is a very interesting Instagram page to follow, because she basically walks around New York City with a team, and they find people and they have a conversation with them, and they find out if they're single, available and looking, and interview them on the spot, and you can DM them immediately. It's an old school, old-fashioned dating platform. You don't have to pay into it. Check it out. I've been sending some candidates to some of my daughters, which I think is really funny. And Hot and Social is where she's putting together groups of people that go to a restaurant, and it's not speed dating, but you're going out with people that you don't know and having to talk in a social situation. And who's to say that's not a home run?
Yeah, we created a vacuum of community, and she's filling need of people to reconnect in a way that makes sense. And I love the fact that she's sending people back to summer camp and giving them some experiences maybe they didn't have, or just being outdoors is a beautiful thing. So cool.
Go on to Camp Social and check it out. I actually registered you and I because I think it would be a great Girls Gone Gritty exercise. And we cannot even be on the list until 2027. It's already sold out. It's obviously a successful venture already. And she's looking to create relationships in an increasingly digital world. And that's something that we discussed last week.
Yeah.
And that's why I found her.
Because your phone was listening to you.
She's trying to bring people together, and you need to look at her. She's absolutely adorable. Her tagline is, I'm here to find your people and your person. The community whisperer.
Cute. That's great. All right, and that brings us to our song of the week. This is a good one. How many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
Dust in the wind?
No, that's actually a Bob Dylan song. I don't know how much I love the movie that Timothy Chalamet did with him. He looks like a complete jerk, but he's
like Bob Dylan.
completely a poet and amazing lyricist and songwriter. And yeah, that's Bob Dylan, Blowing in the Wind.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Girls Gone Gritty. And we will be coming back to you on Thursday.
Peace
See you then.
out.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty.
Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, and now TikTok.
If this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to get gritty.
Own it and put the it in grit.
See you next episode.